All right, so today is Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2024, and we are hearing that American Airlines technical issue sparks travel chaos on Christmas Eve as flights have heavily been delayed after being grounded. We're hearing this is nationwide for anybody that is traveling American Airlines. However, that happened earlier this morning. We're now hearing that it has been lifted. So if this is you or one of your loved ones, we're hearing that there are going to be some delays with what unfolded this morning. However, they are back on track, and people should be able to get back onto their flights. Take a look. American Airlines nationwide ground stop on Christmas Eve is now lifted. The airline said the ground stop was lifted before 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, we're hearing that there might be a couple of hours delays. We had heard that FAA had grounded flights nationwide for American Airlines. A lot of people were concerned. What is this? Christmas Eve, we've heard all the warnings of potential threats of cyber attacks and other things. You're actually going to be seeing this here. I'm going to share with you the video footage to get you caught up as to what unfolded this morning. They're saying they believe it was a technical issue. They had to ground all the flights, and now they're saying they believe that things are back on track and it should be good and well, because right now people are traveling for the holiday season, and there was a lot of concern about what was going on and people wondering about the safety and security of people traveling at this time. But luckily, like I said, American Airlines back on track. So if you or somebody you love is traveling right now and they're using American Airlines, they are saying that things should be back on schedule, but there might be a couple of hours delay due to this taking place nationwide. So like I said, I'm going to get you caught up on the latest, and I hope that you and your family are having a blessed Christmas Eve. Today is December the 24th, 2024. I'm going to share with you the video footage so that way you can see it for yourself. And if you appreciate that, do me a favor before we dive in, take a quick second if you haven't done so yet. I see we got about 1,150 people on with me live. Hit that like button, helps spread this out further. Just takes a second. That simple gesture spreads this out across the YouTube platform. Hit subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. Why not? I'll keep you up to speed on everything. And also, all of the articles that I reference, they are linked down in the description below. I cite all the sources, put it on the screen, read right from it, try to hold myself accountable to the community so that way you can see it for yourself and know that it is the latest. And again, if you appreciate that, hit the like button, subscribe to stay up to date, and also additional resources linked down below. A lot of people letting me know that they want to know where can I get my hands on those iodide potassium tablets in case of radiation exposure, or where can I stock up on various items just in case we were to have some sort of cyber attack. They are linked in the description below. And I've got those tablets. People have been asking for those a lot for adults and for kids, ones that are approved for kids. And they're like 15, 20 bucks, not a whole lot. It's easy to get your hands on those tablets just in case. And also make sure if you got some stocked up that the expiration date has not gone bad, because they don't last that long either. So it's good to just make sure you get some of them, have them ready just in case. Resources linked down below. But let's go ahead and take a look at the video footage so you can see it for yourself. This coming out all across the news media outlets this morning about the grounded flights taking place. But we're hearing they are back on track. But let's take a look so you can see it for yourself.
We've got a breaking news update now on the American Airlines outage. The FAA's Air Traffic Control Command Center site showing a ground stop for American Airlines and its subs. In a statement, the airline saying the following: a technical issue is affecting American Airlines flights this morning. Our teams are working to resolve the issue as quickly as possible, and we apologize to our customers for the inconvenience. You can take a look at the stock. That's not going to really help the folks who are sitting in the airport waiting to make it to wherever they're trying to get with their families. But right now, the stock off about 3%. And
so there you have it. You're hearing that was back earlier this morning when they said that everybody was grounded. But now we're hearing updates, like I said, that everything is back on track. So we're hearing that this was down for maybe like an hour or so. There was concerns about this during the holiday season, the day before Christmas. But take a look, a new update coming out saying that they are back on track. But again, a lot of people were concerned about potential cyber attacks and security. And let me know your thoughts. Are you concerned about this right now with the holiday seasons? We've been hearing these warnings. Put a 1 if you are concerned about potential threats of attacks, physical or cyber. Put a 2 if you're not really concerned, you think that we're going to be okay. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But let's take a look at this video footage as we're hearing that the FAA has now resumed flights for American Airlines, lifting that nationwide ground stop. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Breaking this morning, flights are resuming for American Airlines after the FAA lifted the ground stop the airline issued due to technical issues, it said. This happened during the busiest travel time of the year as people are rushing home for the holidays. We spoke with our affiliate WFOR in Fort Lauderdale, Florida last hour. Here is what she says they were experiencing during that brief ground stop.
The flight was supposed to leave at 7 a.m. We got there, we're waiting to board the flight, and then the announcement came over the loudspeaker saying that there's going to be a delay. They were having serious technical issues, saying that they weren't able to scan tickets, not able to board luggage onto the flight. And then we were told that we're going to get updates every 15 minutes. So people were sitting there patiently. A lot of people wearing Santa hats. There were so many children there as well. A lot of parents really concerned about getting home for the holidays.
All right, we have our Lucy Kavanaugh looking off into the wilderness because she looks very calm. Things don't seem too terrible there at Chicago O'Hare's airport, which is busy on any day of the week. What are you seeing there, Lucy?
Well, Sarah, I was looking off at the actual boards here, the departure boards. Most flights are delayed, but none look to be canceled. And, of course, the usual hustle and bustle of Chicago O'Hare Airport, of course, a hub for American Airlines. You can see things returning back to normal. But it was definitely a scary start for on this Christmas Eve for some holiday travelers. After that brief outage grounded all of the flights, the airline said a vendor technology issue briefly affected flights. They also said that they began boarding again around 8 a.m. Eastern. This is according to an American Airlines spokesperson. Now, a lot of folks learning about this outage on social media when they saw reports that some flights were returning back to their gates and delays were about 90 minutes. But a lot of folks, like I said, learning about this online. Take a listen, including to two passengers that we spoke to.
We saw it first on our phones, and then we saw on Instagram, like a news report, that said all planes grounded for American in the U.S. So we were like, what's going on? And she recently watched a movie that a cyber attack happened. So she thought it was crazy. She's like, Christmas Eve crisis.
So they're getting to Grandma in Vegas. A lot of folks are getting to their destinations on, again, one of the busiest travel days of the year. I think one aviation analytics firm estimated that American was going to have 3,300 domestic flights today. So thankfully this ground stop, this travel delay has been averted.
AAA reports 119 million people will be traveling 50 miles or more from home, which is more than the previous high set in 2019. Joining us right now is travel expert and managing editor of The Points Guy, Clint Henderson. It's great to see you. Thanks for jumping on. A ground stop for a major airline like American, even short-lived. How far are you seeing, or could the ripple effects go in terms of the disruption even after they've renewed service, Clint?
Yeah, well, just to give you one example, I've been tracking a flight leaving JFK going to San Francisco. That flight's now delayed 3 hours, so it does have a ripple effect. The good news is it seems to have been resolved fairly quickly, so hopefully there won't be any kind of cascading issues. American Airlines said they are sorry for the inconvenience to passengers, but the good news is, like most fallout we've seen from these incidents lately, it's being resolved fairly quickly, and it hasn't had the domino effect that we saw back in 2022, for example.
Yeah, I think everyone's still, I feel like they're hurt from that example, but things have been resolved. A little traumatized from that one for sure. That was so wild. More broadly, Clint, looking at the numbers, the busiest day that ever in airports was, I believe it was the Sunday after Thanksgiving. TSA screened more than 3 million people then. TSA also saying 10 of the busiest travel days on record have happened in just the past 6 months. What are you expecting for Christmas and New Year's, and what should travelers be preparing for?
So more of the same. And, this is why I recommend, especially during the holidays, that you get to the airport a little earlier than normal. I'm the 3 hours early kind of guy. But, airports now have so many amenities, lounges, restaurants, shopping, that I don't mind spending a little time at the airport. And of course, I have all those clear and TSA pre-check. But there's even some free screening things you can do, like getting a place in line at Orlando Airport and things like that. So definitely check into that stuff. But overall, the airlines are handling things better. You know, we've only really seen one major meltdown this year. That was CrowdStrike, and that was an IT failure. So fingers crossed that we're on the upswing. I think the airlines, airports have the staff they need now. So that's a relief.
I have personally gone a 180 on this. I used to be screaming at the last minute, jumping on the plane at the last second, loving to see if I could kind of beat the buzzer. And I'm now the 3 hours early person. I'd rather not have the stress, and I'd rather sit and drink several more cups of coffee before taking off. So I have taken your advice for sure. Let's look back at this past year in travel. As I mentioned, it's just been a huge year for travel. What were the biggest travel trends that you saw in 2024?
So people are traveling farther to more exotic destinations, and they're going for longer. We've done some polling. We've been tracking the trends very carefully, obviously. Average length of vacation instead of 4.5 days is now 5.5 days. So I think what you're seeing happen is a lot of people are extending trips because of work from home policies. So whereas they maybe could only get away for the weekend before, they're now extending those trips by a day on either side. So that's a big trend that I expect we'll see continue. And also just the popularity of travel. I think social media has really impacted that. I think people see their friends' selfies in front of the Eiffel Tower or in Tokyo, and they want to copy that trip. So I think you're seeing a lot of excitement around travel. And really this dates back to the pandemic when people were stuck at home. I think a lot of people decided that what they wanted to do was to travel more.
And so what are your predictions for 2025? Because I find it interesting because it's such a huge year for travel, but also this was the year of inflation. And this was one of the years of inflation and people struggling to pay for their groceries. And so you kind of have this combination of factors, and I'm wondering what you think it all means for the year to come.
Yeah, I think that's one area that folks they don't care how much it costs. We haven't seen a lot of price resistance from consumers. I will say over the last 5 years, airfares have actually come down slightly overall. And I regularly see deal alerts. So there is deals to be had out there and people are taking advantage of those, but people are just not as price sensitive as they used to be when it comes to travel. I think that's the one area people are willing to splurge on right now. The other interesting thing that's happening is the strong US dollar is certainly helping for international travel in places like Tokyo, in places like Europe. The US dollar just goes further. It can be cheaper to go to Europe than it can be to go to Las Vegas, for example. So that's one of the things that I'm watching. The return of business travel is a big part of this. And then no let up in demand. For leisure travel, American Airlines just added a direct flight to Bozeman, Montana for leisure travelers. So airlines are making more decisions based around the consumer who loves to travel.
Ooh, I love that. I like learning more about more direct flights. Fan of more direct flights.
Wait a minute. Before you go,
please,
Clint, what are your thoughts on gate lice?
Oh,
do you know the term? Because one of us skips lines.
I am an adorable louse when it comes to I'm okay.
All right, there you have it, you guys. So we are hearing that the restrictions have been lifted now, or excuse me, the delays, the FAA grounding has been lifted, but there could be delays if you or one of your loved ones are traveling using American Airlines. That is going to be taking 2 or 3 hour potential delays. But they're saying that they have lifted the ground stops. So this is great news for those of you who are going to be traveling during the holidays. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Did you think that this potentially could be caused by a cyber attack as well? Like we heard that individual who was interviewed, as we've been hearing these threats for quite some time. Well, take a look at this. People are saying that that's not necessarily out of the question. Here is one that came out from Marca, and it says, was a cyber attack behind the American Airlines nationwide technical issue? Now, let me know your thoughts, because we actually have seen this in the past from AT&T, Verizon, several different companies that'll come out and say, oh, we just had a technical glitch or an issue. Then later on, it comes out that it was in fact a cyber attack or a hack that took place. Now, keep in mind, this only lasted for a couple of hours and they got things back on track. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think that this was potentially a cyber attack? We've heard these warnings about potential attacks coming on Christmas, on New Year's, and Inauguration Day, January 20th. These are primary times to be mindful, to be vigilant, because this is when we could see attacks take place. If you think that this possibly was this, put a 1. If you think no, put a 2. Let me know your thoughts. And also, if you haven't done so yet, I see we're approaching 1,900 people in the room live with me. Take a second, hit the like button, help spread this out further, subscribe to stay up to date. And let's take a look at this article. It says American Airlines are facing serious problems this Christmas Eve. Early Tuesday morning, American airline flights across the country were temporarily grounded due to a technical issue, the airline confirmed. The disruption, which occurred during the busy holiday travel period, left passengers stranded and wondering if the incident was more than just a technical glitch. And that is exactly what we had heard from that person that was interviewed. And we watched that video clip. She said that she had just seen a movie about cyber attacks and was concerned that this is what it was, that this was some form of a cyber attack that was hitting. But then we were hearing that they're saying, no, it was a technical issue and that the FAA had to ground flights. Now, the Federal Aviation Administration, or the FAA, reported that American Airlines requested a ground stop for all of its flights. This was nationwide. Within an hour, the issue appeared to be resolved and boarding resumed as the FAA lifted the ground stop. However, the brief but widespread disruption raised questions, especially given the timing and the scope. Airline apologizes but offers limited answers. In an X post, formerly known as Twitter, American Airlines addressed the issue, stating, "We're currently experiencing a technical issue with all American airline flights. Your safety is our utmost priority. Once this is rectified, we'll have you safely on your way to your destination." The airline provided no estimated time frame for the resolution, but assured customers that its teams were working to fix the problem as quickly as possible. Now, in a follow-up statement to ABC News, the airline reiterated its apology, saying, "We apologize to our customers for the inconvenience. Despite this, the lack of specific details about the cause of the disruption has led to speculation." So if you're thinking, was this a cyber attack? You're not alone. There are others that are speculating this as well, because there is little information coming out on this at this time. And as we've seen from previous hacks that have unfolded, we have seen major companies that have got their communications, or whatever the case may be, massively disrupted, interruptions that are taking place, no information coming out, just saying we had a technical issue. And then later on, it comes out that they actually were hacked. There was some form of a cyber attack. Now, could this be a cyber attack that is involved here? Well, the airline's nationwide grounding coincides with heightened cyber security concerns across industries, particularly during the holiday season when travel is at its peaks. Now, while American Airlines has not indicated that hacking or cyber sabotage played a role, the vague explanation of a technical issue has left room for such a question. Airlines are increasingly reliant on sophisticated digital systems for operations, making them prime targets for cyber attacks. Now, in the past, similar disruptions in the aviation industry have been linked to cyber incidents or external tampering. Now, with the Transportation Security Administration, or TSA, predicting nearly 40 million travelers during the holiday period, any disruption, technical or otherwise, has the potential to cause significant chaos. Timing heightens the impact. The outage came at an especially critical time as American Airlines prepares for its busiest travel days of the holiday season. The airline had anticipated December 27th and December 20th to see the highest passenger volumes, aligning with the TSA's projected 6.2% increase in holiday travel compared to 2023. For now, the cause of the issue remains unclear, and American Airlines has not provided further updates suggesting foul play. However, as questions swirl about the possibility of a cyber attack or system hacking, travelers and experts alike will be watching closely for more information. As airlines continue to modernize their operations, the potential vulnerabilities in these systems highlights the need for robust cybersecurity measures. Now, whether the incident was the result of a human error, system malfunction, or external interference, it serves as a reminder of how interconnected and fragile modern travel infrastructure can be. So there you have it, you guys. This coming out this morning, and they're saying to watch out for that infrastructure, particularly for transportation. These are one of the warnings that we had heard directly from the FBI. We had heard from FBI Director Christopher Wray several years ago saying that these various infrastructure systems were under the threat of attack from various adversaries that wanted to do harm to the United States, specifically talking about hackers coming from Russia, China, Iran. And we're hearing the warnings about cyber attacks, physical attacks. So this could potentially be that. However, we will see. I will keep you up to date. They are saying that there leaves room for that question. Was this a cyber attack? Since very little information has been given this morning with this massive nationwide delay. However, luckily they said the delay only lasted about an hour and has delayed flights. We saw about 2-3 hours, but they're back on track. So if you or somebody you love is going to be traveling this holiday season with American Airlines, the good news is you should be back on track to go ahead and travel. But like I said, if more information comes out, I'll be sure to let you know here on the channel. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think that we should be vigilant at this time and be prepared? I don't think it's a bad idea. I personally like to say, hey, I'd rather be prepared and not have anything happen. And then, hey, I just prepared and, you know, it was good to be ready, rather than not be prepared and then have something happen and then I wish I was. But like I said, this coming out this morning, American Airlines back on track. The FAA updated this and said that they have resumed flights, so things should be moving along as scheduled and as usual. And also, if you missed my videos yesterday, you might want to check them out, as we've been hearing that there are $1,400, up to $1,400 that are going to be going out to about 1 million people across the United States that missed out on previous stimulus checks that they should have received. Also, Social Security has finally passed a piece of legislation that's going to be expanding benefits called the Social Security Fairness Act. And in addition to that, we also heard, I shared with you yesterday as well, that Donald Trump has said that he is preparing our U.S. defenses for potential threats. And he is making strategic moves right now. If you missed it, there were 3 that I covered. The first one is he wants to now create a U.S. Iron Dome. The second one is he also wants to take back the Panama Canal and control that area. That's a very strategic location, and they're saying this sends a direct message, a warning to China. And also, he wants to purchase Greenland, which he said is also another strategic location for potential attacks from ICBMs coming from the north across the Arctic area from Russia. So we're hearing that Donald Trump is making some very strategic moves and literally says this is a matter of national security. We need to go ahead and address these. So if you think that's a good idea, put yes in the comments. If you think no, put no. But if you want more details, check out that video as well. I gave you all the updates yesterday. And like I said, as more comes out, though, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to speed on everything here on the channel so you know what is taking place. And also, like I said, if you want additional resources, I got Amazon links down in the description below to various ones to stock up on, and also to those iodide potassium tablets for radiation exposure to protect your thyroid should you be exposed if something were to happen. And we've got ones that are approved specifically for adults. It's like $15. It's like nothing to make sure that you've got those handy. And if you got kids, also tablets down below that are approved for all ages. That one's about $20, but still, just something to have ready just in case those can be on their way. But that is the latest, you guys. And I see people saying, yes, they agree with Trump that they should go ahead and have that ready. Steve, some Russians took over a radio channel. Look it up, says RJ Paradise. I will. Thank you for letting me know. Wow, that's pretty wild. I know that I've heard that right now that they have activated one of their stations that has been dormant for a long time, and they're playing music on it, which they are saying is a sign of psychological warfare. And they've got the doomsday clock playing now. And this, I believe, has been dormant for decades upon decades. So they're saying that Russia is insinuating, either they're playing mind games or they're insinuating, hey, we are prepared to attack. But like I said, I'll make sure to keep you guys up to date. I'll go ahead and take a look at that. Thank you for letting me know. And again, also, if you guys got updates for me, if you come across things that you think that need further investigation, reach out to me on Instagram at SteveRam3. I've got various platforms that I share all the content on now, here on YouTube, Rumble, and also Spotify. But I've been having issues with Spotify. For some reason, I can't upload the videos. I am Steve Ram on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify. So just look up Steve Ram. On Instagram, TikTok, and Truth Social, if you're on any of those, I'm Steve Ram 3. And then if you're on Facebook or if you are on X, I'm Steve Ram News. So there's a Steve Ram News page. And if you're on Facebook and you go to Steve Ram News, do me a favor, go ahead and do a review or a like, help promote that out as well. I'm been getting more and more people on. It's been growing substantially. It's been awesome. But want to make sure that if people appreciate it, they can go ahead and see those reviews. So please like that if you are on Facebook, Steve Ram News as well. But if you got reports, the best place to reach me is Instagram, SteveRam3. So send me anything you got. And also always just try to provide the sources. I like to provide the sources so people know where it's coming from. So just want to make sure that it's actual factual things that are taking place and not sometimes some of the stuff that's spread around social media is not actually legit. You just got to do a little bit of digging and you can find out what is legit and what's not. I'll make sure to keep you guys up to speed. I'll cite all the sources, put it on the screen, read right from it, make sure that you guys know that it is the latest. But thank you so much for joining me, you guys. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like button. Just need 25 more likes to get to 900 while we're live. Subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. Why not? And additional resources linked down below. But that is the latest. Merry Christmas to you guys. I see Steve Rankin saying Merry Christmas, Steve. Yes. Happy Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays. God bless you all. And I will keep you up to speed and catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care, you guys. God bless.